Yo, what's the deal? What's the deal? You already know who it is. I'm on Asharenu. We back in here. What's the deal, bro? What's good? What's the deal? You already know. What's up, Rod? Classes in motherfucking session, my niggas. What's up? What's up, Golden Appeal? I see everybody. No sleep, right? So y'all just saw me a couple hours, right? A couple hours ago. What's up, G-Star? What's the deal? What's up, Hecka? What's the deal? What's the deal? Gonna let everybody come in, so give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. The clean mantra worked immediately last night. You know, I'm not surprised. You know, took y'all long enough to put that shit into action. You know what I mean? I'm not surprised. I know the stuff works. You know what I mean? So once y'all do it, I'm not surprised when y'all say like, yo, that shit work. I'm like, I know this shit works. Y'all just gotta keep making those moves, you know? Keep making those moves, you know what I mean? All right. Somebody is asking what does clean do? Man, I talk about clean so much. I don't even think that's a you allowed to ask that question. I talk about clean more than any other mantra on this channel. Like if I'm not talking about no other mantra, I'm talking about clean. But however, people in the comments feel free to let them know. Yeah, no sleep. Yeah, no sleep. I was just live. I was just live a couple hours ago. I was just live at 1 a.m. You know what I mean? Here we go. Then I'm gonna be right back live, maybe at around 12. You know what I mean? We not. It's no sleep. This lunar eclipse is crazy. I can't sleep. I can't sleep. You know what I mean? Something is keeping me up. I can't sleep. I gotta just get this information out or something. I don't know what it is. But I can't sleep worth nothing. You know, hopefully everybody else is able to sleep. You know what I mean? But don't worry about me. We're going to keep this information coming. So y'all know, as we always do before we get into any subject, we're going to go into the mathematics. You know what I mean? We're going to go into the mathematics of the day. We're going to do a couple tarot. We get it in. All right. Let me shuffle up the deck. We'll be using that. Yeah, you saw the live stream. See, I guess that's when people want to talk about the dark side. So this is like part 2 of last night's video. What's up, Miss Lady? Because for whatever reason, people wanted to ask me about demonic energy and Satanism and Luciferianism and sacrifices and all that. I guess that's just what people think at 1 in the morning. I don't know. I'm like, all right, let me lay this foundation once and for all, right? Let me lay this foundation when it comes to dark matter, dark magic. Let me lay this foundation so people will know what they're working with, right? What's up, what's up, what's up, Candy Goddess? What's up, everybody? Appreciate everybody for tuning in. So, okay, where are we? What's the day? So how many days? Who's been keeping up? What day is this? How many days have I been going every single day? What day is this? I don't know. What day is this? Is this the 7th day, 8th day, 9th day in a row? I don't know what day. Who's been keeping up? But don't worry about it. Nonetheless, we're on the 29th day. So we got the 2 and the 9, right? What's up, Sanja? What's the deal? What's the deal? The matrix is turned off a little bit at those hours. Yeah, because as you know, motherfuckers was asking me all about demonic energy. So, you know, why not talk about it, right? So this is kind of part 2. So if you didn't see last night's live stream, then make sure you tune in. Make sure you tune in to last night's stream or this morning, technically. So this would be like part 2. This would be more of an official video, so I didn't really go in and all that. You know, we were just chatting, you know, making it happen. But anyway, let's get to it. So we're in the 29th day. We got the 2 and the 9. We know the 2 represents wisdom. We know that 9 represents born. The 2 and the 9, once you add it up, you get the 11, which is not knowledge. When you add that back, it goes right back to the number 2, which is wisdom. Let's put it all together. So we know wisdom is to be wise in your decision making. Whenever you're making decisions in life decisions, major decisions, minor decisions, decision making, the decision making process has to come from a place of wisdom if you expect to born, which is number 9, a culture that is not only based in knowledge, but also you are able to apply the knowledge that you gain. See, the whole purpose of last night's live stream, people were asking me about, of course, demons, angels, polarities, opposites, right, wrong, good, bad, everything that we talk about anyway. And it's a lot of confusion out here. It's a lot of misinformation out here. People was getting their information from all over the place. Then they started talking to me as if, it's legitimate information. But so there's still a lot of confusion out here. So let's get this straight. Well, let us continue with the mathematics. Right? So we got the 2 and the 9. The 2 and the 9 add up. That makes 11. Right? This is the 29th day, right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm getting my days mixed up. I've been doing this. We're going to stay on point. So we got the 11. 11 we know is also a master number. This is a number for the divine sound, meaning you were able to hear the divine calling, right? What is the divine calling? When it's time for your spirit or your soul to wake up in consciousness, which we have all heard. If you're here at some point, something within you chose to wake up because it was time for you to wake up. And now you're able to tune into the frequency that is the true reality. So this is straight red pill information. This is people that want to glitch the matrix, who understand that we are in the matrix and understand that we have to play the game. If you're down here, you have to play the game. We have to be within this matrix for the time being while we're here in the physical form. So therefore, if you have heard the divine calling, that means somewhere within you, wisdom exists that predates this planet, that predates this age. Again, some of us are from the age of Leo. Some of us are from the age of Aquarius. Some of us are from the age of Aries. Some of us are from the age of Taurus, so on and so forth. So although we may be in this life, because supposedly it's 2018, right? It all depends on what calendar you're looking at. For some people, they say it's the year 1534 or 1535, just depending on what calendar. So it don't matter where you are in the world. If you go over to Asia, what is it? They're like 17 hours ahead of us. It's July 30th in the Far East, you can say. They already, it's already nighttime probably over there. They about to go into their next day. Nonetheless, now, once again, I also want to bring the tarot in here to further clear things up. So let me lay the foundation. So for example, when most people hear about dark matter and dark energy, they automatically assume that you're dealing with, let's just say, demons or demonic spirits or anything of this nature, right? We automatically assume that if it's dark, then it's wrong, or if it's dark, then it's it's something that you shouldn't be dabbling in. So let's make this clear. Dark just means bringing out the shadow from within yourself. So whenever you are working dark magic, this is you making an attempt to bring out of yourself the hidden aspects, to bring those hidden aspects out from within self that have you could say it's like, if I want to make it simple, if we want to just keep this simple, it's like people have a stranger living within them that really only comes out when they drink and when they smoke or when they get intoxicated or when they're not sober. You know, we all have witnessed people change when they drink or when they smoke, right? What's really manifesting is their shadow side, that side of themselves that they had no idea that existed within. You would have an idea if you paid more attention to your dreams because this is your real self. However, because most people don't pay attention to their dreams, this side comes out when they drink and when they smoke. You can say on the weekends, right? This is their weekend self. When they want to, engage in drugs recreationally, so on and so forth, all this crazy stuff, right? So that's when this dark energy manifests for majority of people and for most people because they are intoxicated. It's hard for them to control it. So again, you see some people getting into it. They want to fight. Some people just want to fall asleep. You have all type of different reactions. But what's really going on is essentially you are manifesting your shadow self or your shadow side, your dark side, whatever you want to call it. It is coming up. It is being released. You are taking the leash off of the beast, right? A lot of mysterious things happen when you're not in a sober state of mind because the shadow has a power to it. There's a power to your shadow side. What is the power to your shadow side? The power to the shadow side basically just means that it doesn't think moralistically. It doesn't think in terms of right or wrong. That's why you have one too many drinks. You know what I mean? You may have sex with somebody you didn't intend to have sex with. You may not even find this person attractive, but that alcohol starts to alter certain things. As we all know, we've all been in this situation before, not necessarily sexually, but we know what it means to have, an alternate perspective of life, when you are not sober. We have all experienced this in some form or fashion. If you are over the age of 21, of course, we don't want to promote kids doing any of this stuff, even though the kids are crazy. Nonetheless, this only manifests and people get addicted to it. This is the true source of addiction. It's not really the drug, it's not really the alcohol, like alcoholism, it's not really the substance itself. It's how it makes you feel. Some people just choose for their shadow side to be their main personality. So these are the people who pretty much you could say stay high all the time, stay intoxicated all the time, a drunk, an alcoholic, whatever you want to call it, right? Their shadow side becomes their main personality. This is what you start to see. Instead of it coming out every now and then, this becomes their main personality because they feel that they can relate to this main personality a lot more because they may feel a lot more comfortable. They may feel a lot more at ease because they're not thinking like humans. For example, again, your shadow side doesn't think like a human. Your subconscious mind doesn't think like a human. It thinks like a divine being. So it likes to do what it wants. It's not thinking about the rules and regulations of the land. It's not thinking about like, oh, that I shouldn't be doing this, or look at all these people looking at me. I should probably all of those things that stop us from doing what we really want to do. All those like, hey, let me stop. Let me, all that stuff. The shadow side doesn't care about all that. The shadow side is just straight emotion or a straight passion, right? It don't necessarily think twice about anything. It's about as soon as something hit, it's going straight to it. So a lot of us want to be more like that. So we use aids, or substances to assist in this process. So this is why a lot of people are drawn to the darker aspects of life, dark magic, demons and all this stuff. This is why people are drawn to these things because they want their shadow side or their shadow self to be their main personality versus who they feel they're not. They don't really identify with their main personality or their conscious mind. They identify more with their subconscious mind. So they want that to dominate. So the subconscious mind dominates for people who do this because again, they feel like they can relate more And for some people, that is the case. Now, taking this step further, going into dark matter. Dark matter is basically, all the things that are active energy that can't be perceived. But you say, well, is dark matter the same as chi? Dark matter, you can say, is what shapes and molds matter. You can say dark matter is the substance within matter, right? So, because you have dark matter and you also have dark energy. These are like more technical terms, right? Because they don't use terms like chi, prana, real, and energy. They just say dark energy and dark matter. So you utilize dark energy to influence dark matter, and that dark matter influences the physical matter that we are able to perceive. So your dark energy, or your dark energy influences dark matter, and that influences. That's just a different way of saying what we always say anyway. This is just using more technical terms. So just laying the foundation so y'all can have an understanding. We're gonna also draw a couple tarot cards to further, get deeper into the core of this. I don't really consider it an issue. Again, you know, I understand. I have compassion, so I'm not necessarily judging people about however they choose to live their life. That's strictly up to them, strictly up to you as well, strictly up to me. However you choose to conduct yourself. Now, going back to the dark matter, it's easier to influence dark energy and dark matter when you are in your shadow mind or your subconscious mind. Again, of course, do you need substances? No, you can just meditate and concentrate. Meditation and concentration is all you need. It may take a little bit longer, but you can definitely open up that void so that the shadow can creep through the void, but you will be in more control of it versus it just taking a energy of its own or a personality of its own. You will be in more control of it if you do it in a sober state of mind or a controlled state of mind, even if you use things to intoxicate yourself, but you don't go overboard, right? Everything has limits. So, of course, when we engage in these things, you naturally are drawn to the darker aspects of life. And this is where we get into the demons and the dark energy, right? So when we think about demons, demons again is just like demon just means Damien, and Damien means spirit, right? So demon just means spirit. Demon doesn't mean anything negative or anything evil, just to make that clear. It's a variation of the word spirit. Just like gangs. Gangs are just slang for a street organization. Just like pimps. Pimp is just a slang word for gentlemen of leisure. So we wasn't going around calling ourselves gangs and pimps and demons. These are all you could say from Christianity. Christianity just said, "Oh, you're working with demons," which are just older systems of thought before Christianity. So whatever was going on before Christianity became demonic. So anything that wasn't Christian is demonic, and that's how they look at it. So that's why religious people don't practice magic because they look at it as demonic or devilish and things of that nature, which is essentially the natural way of life, though, because this is what we were doing before anything like Christianity existed. This is the natural way of living, a magical lifestyle. This is just what we do anyway. So whenever we feel like, okay, once we break out of the spell of Christianity or religion, then we just go back to the natural way of life, which is being of the spirit and being spiritually minded, tapping into that dark matter and that dark energy and having influence over it, because now we understand, okay, we you have to influence your subconscious mind somehow, some way, because we understand that everything is a projection from the subconscious mind. We understand that to some degree. All of us should understand that to some degree. So we understand that these are, darker arts, right? The dark arts, the black arts, whatever you want to call it, right? And also, again, we didn't allow our human thought to stop us from conducting experiments. For example, I think I spoke about this before, but I'll reiterate it here, where, you know, We had certain rituals that we did. People would get intoxicated with psychedelic drugs in a controlled environment. And when they became under the influence of the psychedelic drug, they would get possessed by spirits. Then they would be able to do things that humans could not do. For example, a spirit may take over your body, as they call possession. You may get possessed by a spirit, and the spirit will make itself known by showing the people that it's able to do something that you didn't think people can do. It defies human physics or earthly physics, so on and so forth. The person may be able to jump higher than humans can jump. That person may have unlimited energy. That person may be able to eat glass and not bleed. So whatever, just giving out examples here. So once the spirit manifested its presence and let it be known that, yeah, this is not a human occupying this vessel right now, after it showed whatever it showed to let the people know it's time for y'all to chill and listen to the spirit speak. Then the spirit will go around helping people, and whatever type of healing you may need, the spirit will go around and heal. That's the natural way of doing things. Allow yourself to be a vessel for the spirit to manifest its intelligence and therefore heal the people in a controlled environment. Since we don't do things like that anymore, everybody is pretty much on their own. So even if you have access to psychedelic drugs, you kind of have to do it on your own and figure things out by yourself. Because we have to do it on our own, this is the definition of self-initiation. This is the difference between traditional initiation and self-initiation. Self-initiation is you initiating yourself. Traditional initiation is, you becoming a part of a tradition, like they would do, all over the world. This was just a part of life, the rites of passage, so on and so forth. So just laying the foundation of the differences between now and the past and or the future, because the past and the future is one. We should know that by now. That's why we're thinking our futuristic thought is more in tune with ancient thought than what has been occupying this land, which is man-made religion, which takes away the spiritual nature of life, because you don't acknowledge spirit other than God or other than a messenger of God, and that's about it. You don't look at yourself as anything special. You don't look at nature as anything special. You don't look at other people as anything special. That's why religions have gone around and have went around and killed people that were not converted to their way of life. So this is why it's dangerous. This is why that shit is over with for that bitch ass shit. You going around killing motherfuckers because they don't agree with your philosophy. So if you're not a Christian, you're not a Muslim, you're not this, you're not that, we taking your head off. That's just the way these motherfuckers think. That's why I say religion is the equivalent to warfare. There has been holy wars. Do your history. There has been holy wars, Christians versus Muslims, killing each other over a belief system, which ultimately was a major blood sacrifice for whoever the fuck they call God. So, let's just say it's 1,000, and again, this is no disrespect to the Muslims or the Christians. This is just history. This is fact. Know your history. Like, motherfuckers have killed. So that same shit people are claiming is blood on people's swords, on people's hands. And this is the tradition we choose, to continue to push forward. Like, this is a solution for anybody's problem when it's not. It's a mask covering up the true reality. And again, I see everybody commenting, but again, I'm looking straight at the camera, so I'm not looking at the comments. I just want to make my point, and I'll stroll through and I'll, see what's going on in the comments. But I just want to make this point. So it's over with for that. You know what I mean? That should be the furthest thing in your mind. And again, this is truly why we don't really get along with our family anymore. This is why we don't really get along with our friends like we used to once we take this lifestyle seriously, because they're still under that same mentality, right? They would not mind that. Again, this shit has been normalized to them. For example, let's just say America went to war with a different country, Christians versus a Muslim country, right? America goes to war with a Muslim country. This is what they always do anyway, right? They did it with 9/11. You know what I mean? They're going, it's like Christians versus Muslims. This holy war is still going on. It never stopped. Christians and Muslims die every day because you got American soldiers overseas in Muslim countries. And of course, you got Muslims over here. But everything is not reported in the news. Best believe there are things that are hidden. There are people's names that are kept out of the media. They pay the media to keep their names out of stories. So there's an underworld going on that most people just will never even acknowledge because it don't come on the news. If it didn't come on the news, it didn't happen. That's how people think. If I didn't see it on the news, if I don't see it on the internet, then it isn't real. Or if nobody recorded it with their phone, it didn't happen. This is how we think nowadays. This is why, the youth are so addicted to the phones, because they want to show everything. Like, yo, if I don't have it recorded, then it's like it didn't happen. As before, the last thing you wanted is somebody recording you doing anything. You know what I mean? That was the way of life prior to everybody having cell phones in their pocket. You didn't want anybody recording your activity because it's dangerous. Like, I don't want you recording what I'm doing in these streets. Nowadays, everything is recorded. There's cameras everywhere. Everybody, if anybody does anything slightly strange, there will be a camera whipped out and recording will happen. If anything strange, you don't necessarily got to be super outlandish, but if anybody does anything slightly strange, somebody's gonna be recording you. It's like, yo, don't you got to go to work? Don't you got to go to school? Absolutely not. They not gonna miss recording you. Trust me. So everybody has pretty much turned it to the fucking police. In other words, because anything you do, you will be recorded, and they're gonna put that shit all over the internet, and then it's like, yo, everybody just look at this shit as normal. Like, man, yo, who the fuck wants to be recorded? You may be doing something that you don't want nobody to see, but let somebody find out you're doing something and you will be recorded. That's the times we live in, and they're going to share. It's like they are machines. They are agents. I told y'all this before. Everybody who's not awakened is a potential agent, just like in the Matrix. If you remember the movie Agent Smith or any of the agents, they can take the form of anybody else. You can be a regular person in the Matrix and become an agent. If you saw the movie The Matrix. So everybody is a potential agent. Why? Because they will be the reason why your ass is in jail. Somebody recorded you. Don't even know who you are. Don't even know what you were doing. They just recorded. They're going to put it out. Oh, look what this person was doing. Then that shit goes viral. Then now people is looking for you. When like, yo, you know what I mean? And that's just how people think this shit is fine. Like, yo, that's like dry snitching. You're dry snitching, recording somebody else's activity. But people don't look at that. People still think the police are friendly. People still think police are their friends, or like they're there to serve, protect, and serve, right? And again, for people like us with our minds unlocked, we just cannot wrap our mind around how can you still trust the police? How can you still trust these agents out here? You don't know who's who, right? So that's why I say this is spiritual warfare. Because look at all these dynamics. It's very, very hard to break this spell. So truly, if you don't believe in spirit for no other reason, the fact that you are even conscious enough to realize what's really going on out here and not want no parts of it makes you a truly divine being, because everybody else is seen to be going along with the flow and they don't see no problem with things. Why don't they see a problem? Why? Because everybody's all about that dollar, right? I gotta pay my fucking rent. I don't really care about all this other stuff. I don't, all this conspiracy theories and all that. I gotta pay my rent. I got kids to feed. That's just people's mentality. They stay on that base chakra level. They never rise above that, right? Therefore, again, you can just be sitting in the park meditating. Somebody may be recording you because people are weird. People are like, you know what I mean? Like, people are animalistic. People are cardinal. People, you know what I mean? It makes you not even want to be around humans. At least that's how I feel. Like, I don't really like humans. I believe the definition of that is misanthropic. I'm misanthropic. I don't really like humans because of the way they are. You know what I mean? They behave like savages. But that's what I mean. But look at the religion they claim. Look at the lifestyle they live. Savage. So that's why they don't mind claiming Christianity. They don't mind claiming Islam. They don't mind claiming whatever the fuck they claim because it's truly the way of life for savages. But they don't mind being that. They don't mind. Obviously, they don't. You know, being friendly with motherfuckers who's trying to shoot you down in the streets. Motherfuckers who don't mind having you locked up for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers who look like if I kill a person, that's a badge of honor, right? Motherfuckers going to war. You signing up for the army going to war to kill. Not a problem, right? As long as you got that badge on, as long as you work for the system, you can pretty much get away with anything. And people know that already. So like, yo, if you got a trigger happy type of person, send him to the army so that he can become a killer. They are trained to kill. You know, I'm just speaking common sense though. Hopefully everybody is already aware of all this stuff. If you're not, then you know that there's work to be done. So, just laying the foundation. Somehow, we're already 30 minutes in. How the fuck did that happen? I feel like I just started talking. All right, so let me check these comments before we go in. So again, we're gonna use the tarot. So the whole purpose is how can we better connect with this dark energy and this dark matter and this dark magic? How can we better connect with it constructively and productively and not be savage in our pursuit of happiness, right? So let me go down these comments. Let me see what's going on with everybody. What's good? What's good? Again. All right, all right. See everybody's putting in their comments. How important is memory? You need your memory. You need your memory. Your memory is what truly unlocks all powers within you. Because again, if you have no memory, you can't remember your dreams. You can't retain your consciousness here in your waking life either. You will forget more than you remember every day. Do you remember what you were doing at 2 o'clock yesterday? Some people do, some people don't. What were you doing last week? 2 months ago? Again, some people's memory is destroyed. Sometimes, people smoke a little too much and it clogs up their memory because they're not, you have to be balanced with all things. That's why I suggest if you're a smoker, you have to detox more than a person that doesn't smoke. You have to drink more water than a person that doesn't smoke. You have to balance all of smoking isn't all good. There is negative aspects. All things are polar, right? So you have to do extra things to make up for those negative aspects of smoking. You have to do extra. You have to put in extra work. But people feel like they don't have to put in as much work, which is totally insane. Like I can just get away with smoking. Nah, you got to put in even more work to make up for the things that you're missing out on. Hopefully that makes sense. You already know we in here bright and early. We here bright and early. You know what I mean? I told y'all. Hopefully y'all can keep up. Hopefully y'all can keep up. Where do stars come from? Stars are created. Stars are definitely created by the same minds that created this planet. And of course, we should know who that is, right? So it's all, the creation is from the same source. The same source that created the sun, moon, and stars created us. It's all from the same source. Have I ever tried DMT or shrooms? Yes. I've tried DMT and shrooms. Both, you know what I mean? If y'all want to talk about it, we can talk about it. You know. All right. So let's draw a couple cards. Let's see. So how do we tap into our dark matter, or in our dark energy? How do we tap in, right? All right. Deck is already shuffled. Let's pull these cards. Oh, straight off the bat, we got the lust card. There we go. So this is letting you know right here. This is the mother of abominations. Oh, if y'all didn't know, right? If you didn't know, this is the mother of abominations. What does it mean to be the mother of abominations? This means that all things strange, all things mystical, all things magical. She is the mother of all this. You see, she is. Let me let y'all see this closer. You see the sperm cells hitting the egg. So at the top, you see all these sperm cells going into the eggs. Then when they hit the eggs, they go into that middle point. Once they go into that middle point, she holds it in her hand. So the art of creation, which is the sexual act, all things come from the sexual act, right? She holds that within her hand. And with her other hand, she's holding this abomination, or this beast is being held in her other hand. So one hand, she holds the key to all life. And in the other hand, she's holding this tamed beast. Not this wild beast, this tamed beast. In other words, her subconscious mind is under her control. That's everything we've been talking about, right? I've been talking about make sure that you are always in control, especially if we're talking about the dark side. You can easily not be in control when you're dealing with dark energy. But you see, she clearly has a grasp over that beast, as well as creation, the sexual arts, the dark arts, the black arts. So here we go. So the first card is pretty much letting you know you must be tamed when you are trying to hold the secrets of life in the palm of your hand. So if you're trying to channel all this energy, the energy of creation, the energy that can change your whole life, you must first tame the beast. When you tame the beast, all of creation will bow to you. All of creation rests in the palm of your hand once you tame that beast, that shadow side, the dark arts. The dark arts is all about taming your shadow side. And one of the best ways to do it is to channel your sexual energy from the base chakra and rise the kundalini up to the crown chakra. So this song, that's why it's called lust. You can transmute lust into something that can be constructive and positive. So the same energy that can be destructive, lust can be very destructive. However, that same destructive energy, if transmuted, can be productive and constructive and give you the ability to hold all the creation in the palm of your hand. Right? And it's more symbolism and mysticism to the card, but we'll leave it there. And we'll move on to the next card. And we just draw about 3 cards, you know. Nothing too crazy right now. Next card, power. The next card is power. All right? You see, we got that 4. The 4 elements, the 4 directions. So we know that this is representing earth energy. So we see with this card, a fortress has been built with water going around it. So you have a fortress with 4 corners, which represent each element: fire, water, air, and earth. When they all come together, they create. Well, let me see. Let me let y'all see this a little closer. So you see the symbols. See the symbols: fire, water. See the up triangle? That's fire. The upward triangle is fire. The downward triangle is water, right? The up triangle with the line through the middle is air. The downward triangle with the line through the middle is earth. So this is all four elements coming together. When you mix all four of the elements together, you get power. So you see, you're walking up here. You pass through this, you pass through the pillars, the two pillars. You pass through the pillars, and this is all water. It's like it's a conductor. It's like an energy circuit, right? They have created a energy circuit, so it's generating energy. So this becomes a power source. Who else has all four elements within themselves? Of course, the human being, the divine being, right? Which is a mixture of the four elements. So that's telling you that the power comes from the elemental forces. That's why we can manipulate the air element, which is manipulating your breath. When you manipulate your breath, you change the reality. When you manipulate your water by purifying the waters in your body, the water as well as your blood. The body is mostly water. So when you purify your water in your blood, drinking more water, cleansing yourself, detoxing yourself, keeping your water cleansed will change your life. The fire, as we just spoke about with the lust, it can either be lust or it can be sexual transmutation, which is basically called tantra. It can be lust or it can be tantra. That's channeling the fire element. And lastly, the earth element. You can say it's the body itself. The body is the vessel in which all of these things are taking place. And of course, the body has its own intelligence. So there is intelligence within the body that we don't have to consciously think about. The intelligence is already there. So the more we understand the intelligence of the body, it changes your reality, such as, doing things like urine therapy, meditation, yoga, so on and so forth, getting your body on point, keeping your body fit, keeping your body firm, keeping your body healthy. When you mix all of these elements together, it gives you power because it changes your perspective of things. When you fast, so on and so forth, right? Lastly, we'll draw one last card. Hopefully this is making sense for everybody. Let us continue. Last card. Pow. Oh, this is just magical, right? The new aeon, or the aeon, right? And we see, once again, we see that upward triangle, which represents fire. This Hebrew letter is Shin, Shin, which represents fire. This is one of the three mother letters. You have the three mother letters, or the three primordial elements: fire, water, and air. Right? So this represents fire, the new aeon. So if you look at this, very beautiful card. You see the prince in the middle. You see his divine form. So you say this is his lower self in the middle. This is his higher self, his divine form. You see the goddess Nut, N-U-T, spreading across the universe. Then you see the earthly realm with the babies. Let me zoom in closer. You see these are babies within the Shin. So you see the Shin right here with the 3 points. You also see it in the card with the 3 points. 1, 2, 3. And you see the 3 points right there. It's the same symbol, the Shin, which represents fire. So what does that have to do with the Aeon? The Aeon represents the age of Horus, or an age of fire. In other words, the age of transmutation. So again, we having all these sexual references. Let me bring back this lust card so y'all can see. So you see the same thing here in this lust card. You see, once again, the act of creation. Then you see babies in the background, if you didn't see that before. And you also see there's a snake or serpent as a tail on this wild beast, which represent the rising of the lust energy. Here, you can say this represents, once that energy, that lustful energy has risen up, it represents the Aeon. Why? Because now your higher self, which is an etheric being, that's why you see this is, it's like translucent or transparent. You can see through it because this represents your etheric form or your astral form, whatever you want to call it. And that's why you see Nut spreading across the universe, making a connection with the cosmos. So your higher self has a connection with the cosmos. Your lower self has a connection with the lower world. But you see, he's seated in his throne with the scepter of power. He has a scepter in his hand, meaning he has principle, right? This is a power. He holds within his hand the power, the same way she's holding the power within her hand. He's holding the staff within his hand. It's the same thing. This is just the heightened Kundalini. Once the Kundalini has risen, it rises all the way to the cosmos. So your true self or your divine form can manifest once that energy has risen up. And you also see the wings. You see the wings here, which represents flight, meaning the rising of an energy. And the energy goes in a spiral nature, right? The spirals of the universe. So obviously you see that this is a goddess. You see that's her face. You see the nipples. You see the hands. And you see the feet. And she has bracelets on, right? There you go. So bringing it all together one more time. So how do what's the best way to put all these magical things, these dark arts into practice? Remember, dark arts represent this is the primitive form of the dark arts. It may start off as all of a sudden you're a lot more lustful. You a lot more sexual. You want to just express your sexuality a lot more. This is the beginnings of the rising of the Kundalini. However, that lust energy can be tamed. So this represents lust, but the lust is tamed. As you see, she is tamed, this wild beast. The beast does whatever she commands it to do. She is always in control because she has controlled her beast. Because she has controlled her lower nature. She has mastered her lower nature. Obviously, you see, she's naked. She doesn't have any clothes on. She is completely at peace with who and what she is and what she represents. She has tamed her lower nature. Therefore, she holds the key of life in the palm of her hand, which we all do. So you tame your lustful nature so you can hold the power of creation in your hand, which gives you power because you have mastered the four elements within the body. So you can say this process, this creation process that she's holding in her hand represents all four of the elements. Here you go. The fire, to control your passions, right? Control of your passions. The water, control of the waters in your body, keeping your blood cleansed, right? Because remember, energy is currency. What controls your energy? Your blood flow. If your blood is clotted or there's restrictions or obstacles in the blood flow, it will affect you in a negative way. So your blood flow needs to be cleansed. It needs to be pure. It needs to be open. It needs to be filtered properly. Again, the wind, the manipulation of your breath. I talked about the breath yesterday. The right brain, the right breathing and the left breathing. And lastly, the earth, which is the human vessel itself, being a vessel for the spirit to manifest, which is shown with this card. This is the manifestation of the spirit. Now that the energy has been risen up to its potential, its highest potential, now the energy could express itself fully and constructively and productively. So you sit on your throne in meditation and concentration. That's why he's holding the scepter of power, representing meditation and concentration, meaning he has tamed his mind. Therefore, he can manifest or project his etheric form and travel across the cosmos, which is what we all strive to do anyway, right? We come from the stars. Therefore, we return to the stars. That's why we astral travel. That's why we manifest our etheric form to explore the stars, which is represented by the goddess Nut, right? And of course, you see that double X right there, which represents 20. 20 breaks down to the number 2, the number of wisdom. So you can say 20. 20 represents wisdom cipher. 0 represents cipher. Wisdom the wisdom present within the cipher, right? Meaning, this is a prince seated on the throne. So the prince has to be wise. So that's a wise prince sitting on the throne holding the scepter of power. And he is aware and observant of all 360 degrees of the cipher, which represents Nut. She represents the 360 degrees within the cipher. And he's in the middle of the cipher. So he's looking at all sides of the cipher, 360 degrees. So he's holding within the palm of his hand all 360 degrees present within that cipher. Why? Because he has put in that work and risen up that lustful cardinal energy into something divine, your true self or your higher self. There you go. There you go. There we go. All right. So we've already been here an hour. That's crazy, right? So, let me stroll down. I was told my secret name or my goddess name. What do you do with this information? With your secret name, that's how you work your magic. You work your magic through your secret name. That's why you're given a secret name. That's why we all should have a secret name, a name that you use when you perform your magic. You should not be using your birth name or whatever. So whenever you want to get into your magical essence, whenever you want to get into your shadow side, your dark side, you utilize your secret name and you work your magic through. So whatever magical workings you do, whatever rituals you do it through your secret name or your divine form. So your secret name is just a name, and you can say your higher name or your name on the other side, right? That's what it is. So you work your magic through your secret name, because all names have a vibration. So you may want to chant your secret name while you are working your rituals, so you can pull that energy down to you and work that magic. You can write the name, chant the name, keep it in your mind, however you choose to work it. It's up to you. But definitely work your magic through your secret name. If you don't have a secret name, give yourself an alternate name and work your magic through your secret name, because nobody else knows your name. So therefore the vibration will only be activated when you want to utilize your magic. That's what it's for, versus a name that was given to you. You know? There we go. All right, all right. That tarot is so badass compared to the other one. Absolutely. Like this is the most advanced tarot deck on earth. Period. Like this is definitely the most advanced tarot deck there is. There's no doubt about that. So they're all tarot decks fall second to the Thoth deck. And the more you know about Thoth or Tahuti, then you will understand who is the god of magic and mathematics and writing, right? So Thoth, he originated all that stuff, alchemy, everything that we practice now. So definitely work with Thoth for those who are not afraid. All right. So yeah, you definitely got to remember your dreams. Do I remember every single dream that I have? Absolutely not. But when it's time to remember the dreams, like when I put myself in a zone, like yo, I'm about to remember my dreams and do all this. When I focus in on dream work, then I can focus in on it without a problem. But then I can take myself out of it as well. So definitely, when I want to zone into it, I remember everything. But then if I want to utilize the energy for something else, then I can do that as well. All right. That's strange. Last time I took LSD, I felt that I could be naked without being looked at as a sexual object, like I could just be. Because that's the truth. That's the truth. You see it all in Africa, right? You see the women walking around with their breasts out. The men ain't tripping and lusting after her because that's a part of their culture. Sexuality is a part of our culture. There's a reason why women don't like clothes. Women like to, show their body off because it's natural. It has nothing to do with, sex or anything like that. It's just natural for people just You know, for men to want to take their shirt off and the flex and all that, that's just natural life. But everybody wants to, again, religion makes us think like, oh, sex is bad and all this stuff. It programs you to hate yourself. Look, I need to cover myself up. I need to do this. And you ain't got to do nothing. That's why I'm on this motherfucker with no shirt on. You know what I mean? I'm like, I ain't putting nothing on. For what? For what? For fuck I need to put a, because I'm about to make a YouTube video, I got to put a shirt on. Nah, it ain't happening. But y'all already should know me. Y'all already should know me for not having a shirt on. I pretty change the world with that, right? How do we find our secret name? It's either given to you or you give one to yourself. If you don't have one already, then you give yourself a secret name. So give it to yourself if you don't already have one. What's up, Marvin the Magic? I see you. Dolph scared the fuck out of me when I first began working with him. Didn't expect that at all. That's what I'm saying. Thoth was the ruler of Atlantis. People just don't understand. They know him from the Egyptian pantheon, but he was the ruler of Atlantis before there was an Egypt. So connecting with Thoth, you're going further. You're going further than Egypt. You're going all the way back to Atlantis. You're going all the way back to the beginning. Working with Thoth. Thoth is the oldest deity you can say known to man. There were no deities before Thoth. And Thoth, you can say, still walks to earth to this day, just in a different form, making sure that the wisdom continues to be spread throughout the world. You know what I mean? So definitely work with Thoth if you're not working with anything else. All right? How do you work with Thoth? Any books you recommend on him? The Emerald Tablets of Thoth. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth or the Kabbalion. Because those are pretty much his works. So either the Emerald Tablets of Thoth or the Kabbalion. Read those works and definitely that connects with his frequency. So the more you understand those workings, the more you understand Thoth and the magical workings of nature. There you go. Can I do a video on the Emerald Tablets of Thoth? Yeah, I can definitely do a video on it. I'll probably have to, obviously it's not a long book, but it's definitely enough to where it probably would take a couple videos to, really break down what's being said. It's very, very technical. A lot of people, these are one of the books that a lot of people read, but they don't fully understand because it's written in such a high frequency. Like I remember one time I was reading a book and it made me tear up. It made me tear up because of just how profound the wisdom was within the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. So it's a lot of information in there. So it would take several videos to break down, but I don't mind doing it. Why not? I don't mind doing it. So if y'all definitely want to go that deep into Thoth, then we can. I have no problem doing that. Absolutely no problem doing that. All right. I believe if we were in our most powerful forms that we could. Hold on. Oh, well, they just retracted their message. It is what it is. It takes a lifetime to really understand. Not necessarily. It all depends on your soul level. We all are on our own levels. So not necessarily. It may not take a lifetime. It can, but not necessarily. You just gotta be dedicated to the path. But yeah, alright, so if y'all definitely alright, so I guess for the next couple videos we gonna deal with Thoth. In the many forms that he takes, because he manifests in many different forms and all that. So yeah, we can definitely. So next couple videos are gonna be about Thoth and Magick and what he represents, and yeah, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, the Kabbalion. There's other books too. There's other books that he wrote too. And those ain't even the only ones. I just can't think about the other ones right now. But so yeah, so from this point on, we're gonna go super heavy into Thoth. Why not? So cool. So unless anybody has any questions, we gonna get up out of here till later on. I'll probably refresh, re-up on Thoth, take some notes on Thoth and see his various forms. And we'll come back a little bit later. When you smoke in public and you be around other people, it makes you feel weird. Well, that's obvious because you around a bunch of savages. You're not supposed to feel good smoking around a bunch of motherfuckers who is on bullshit. You know, when I was on shrooms at the beach, and I was having a good time. So I walked back to the boardwalk with all these other motherfuckers. It's gonna make you feel evil, because that's just how people are. That's why, like, again, I'm misanthropic. I really don't like people. I really, that's, you know, why nobody's in your videos. I really don't like people like that, especially if they're not on the wave. I don't really fuck with them. Yeah, definitely the Kabbalion. Yeah, the Kabbalion. So yeah, you can say the Kabbalion is definitely a manifestation of Thoth as well. You just purchased a Thoth deck. Salute to you. You know, you will not regret that purchase at all. See, I read the Kabbalion. I didn't know that was working with the deity, though. I guess you are when reading any book. Not necessarily. There's a difference. So let me make this clear before we check out. There's a difference between source material and interpretation of the source material. So books like the Kabbalion and books like the Emerald Tablets of Thoth is source information. That means the Emerald Tablets of Thoth was written by Thoth himself. But then you have other books, such as books like Ancient Future, which talk about the 7 universal laws. However, that's somebody else's interpretation. That's not necessarily the writings of Thoth himself. You know, so you have the writers of Thoth himself versus somebody interpreting the writings of Thoth. So when you're reading Thoth, his words, is different than when you're reading what somebody else is saying about his words. So you got source material, then you got the interpretation of that source material. So source material is things like the Gnostic Bible. The Gnostic Bible is source material. So that's another book. So for y'all who want another book, the Gnostic Bible is also another book. You know, if y'all want to get deeper into Gnosticism, yeah, definitely. Your telepathy is too strong when you're high in public. I don't I don't recommend getting high in public. I don't even understand the purpose of that. Why would you even want to be high around a bunch of people you don't know? You know, I don't even understand the thought process behind that. I don't know why would you even want to be not in your right mind around people that you don't know. I don't even understand that. But to each his own. You know, I'm not here to judge, but I don't, I'm like, I'd rather be alone. But that's just me. Like, I don't even smoke with other people. You know what I mean? I'm not 420 friendly at all. Yes, I smoke, but just because somebody else may smoke don't mean I'm smoking with you. Like, if I don't really know you, then I'm not smoking with you. Especially if I don't know what vibes you want. The energy be getting weird as fuck. I've smoked with some people and the energy gets weird. I don't really know these motherfuckers, because you don't know what they open themselves up to. So you opening up your energy with people that you don't even necessarily know how they live. But to each his own. I can't even do that shit no more. I did that in my beginning stages, but I can't do that no more. All right. Yeah, I don't know what's up with people smoking in public. I don't know. The Thoth deck with your first deck, I see you, Star Seed. Definitely the Thoth deck on point. All materials from source, though, not necessarily. Again, you got source material written from the deity himself versus somebody else interpreting what they wrote based on how they think. It's a huge difference. Again, it's like speaking to a divine being versus speaking to somebody who spoke to a divine being. That's the difference. The direct connection versus you're talking to a person who had a direct connection. Is first hand experience versus what is it, third hand experience or second hand experience, whichever one it is. You have a connection with the deity versus somebody else doing, they telling you about it. If you strive to build up your own connection, you need to read source material. But you need to know the difference. Read the Gnostic Bible, then read other books, any other book about Gnosticism, and you will see the difference. somebody else's interpretation versus the actual things that was written on the walls. The shit that was written on the walls by the scribe himself. That's the difference. You know what I mean? So all material is not source material. All right. So again, unless anybody got any questions, we're gonna get up out of here. So I gotta get my study on. You know, get this thought, channel in this thought information. So I'm gonna definitely get my study on, bring back the information. Again, you know. So yeah, so we ended there. Again, I'm not going to sleep. I gotta study. All right. So I'm about to end this study. Be right back, y'all. So I don't know. So maybe about around noon, maybe before. I may come back. I may come back within an hour. I may come back 2 hours, whatever. But I'll definitely be back soon. When do I fast? At least once a month. Once a month. I do it a lot actually, because I want to stay as pure as possible. So till a little bit later, we're gonna get up out of here. We're gonna get our study on. So salute. We out. Hotep.